Good afternoon. Lovely to see you all again. It's our last session of the latest trends in international management for the semester. I hope you very much enjoyed it. I, for myself, did very much enjoy it. Paulo Santos, please give him a warm welcome. He is our last speaker. We met 11 years ago because we did the MBA together. He has a very long history of experience in finance, setting up companies. In 2010, he led the team which reintroduced UBS in Brazil. At the moment, he's based in London.
Yes.
I'm glad you're closer now.
Yeah.
It's easier to visit. I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy that you're talking about philanthropy and impact investment today. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
I wish you a lovely last talk. Please do stay. I just want to have a last wrap up after the session from our 7 speakers, just very briefly, and filling out the evaluation forms as well. So that will be the last element after the talk and the Q&A session from me. Enjoy. The floor is yours.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Do I need the mic or can you hear me at the end? Can you hear me? Yes. So, yeah. I like to talk with my hands as well. Brazilian, but have some Italian, Portuguese blood. And yeah, the Italian makes me. So yes, I was talking to Ellen and another colleague now about careers. I changed my career in 20 years. I changed it about 5 or 6 times, like changing completely industry. So yeah, I have a good experience if you want to explore it afterwards. It's nice. Now I'm working for UBS in London. I work for the wealth management platform in London in the philanthropy desk, where we help our clients to make a bigger impact with their philanthropy. It's not related with tax, it's not related with avoiding tax, it's just making a better and bigger impact with their philanthropy. So I have the privilege to work for UBS, the largest global wealth management, for the last year. I would say here in London. I worked 4 years before in Brazil. And we as a firm have providing philanthropy and impact investing for our clients for 18 years. Over that time, we have seen social impact become more and more trendy with our clients, and philanthropy as well, and worldwide. As a business, we feel that the biggest social contributions that we can make to the world in general is furthering the sustainable impact, the sustainable development goals that were set by United Nations, and also help the clients to give and invest for social impact most easily, efficiently, and effectively. So we are focusing individual investors. More than 90% of ultra high and high net worth individuals, they are interested in philanthropy. Only 20% of them are confident that they are making a change or they are having an impact in the world with their philanthropy, and all of them, they need and they know that they need expert advice to guide their philanthropy. So for those that never thought about working for a big bank, I work in the good side of the force. not if there is a bad side of the force, this is the good one. And banks are changing a lot lately. So the face of wealth is changing, and also the demands are changing. The demands for the impact are changing. Women, they control more than ever the financial pie right now. So women, they are going to inherit 70% of $41 trillion in the US in the next 25 years. They have completely different patterns when they are looking at philanthropy. There are research saying that women, they are more focused in social change. They want really to help others. They are much more engaged in the causes that they are supporting. And also they embrace strategic philanthropy, that is, I'm going to talk about it in a second, much more than men do. And just to make the point, so men, according to this research, they act more in self-interest. Money is power for men. The donations to alleviate poverty, they are not so big as in the women group. And also men have too big questions when they are donating. That's kind of a shame here. What society will expect me to do with my donation, and also what recognition I will get out of it. So very different patterns about how men and women see philanthropy. And as women, they are gaining more power, they are inheriting or making more money, they already control most of the wealth all over the world. So we have to see that philanthropy will change with them. Millennials, your generation, you are the largest living generation already. 31 trillion to be transferred by 2050, and 8% of the millennials, they believe that investments is not only about financial results. If you are investing, you are not only thinking about the dividend that you will get in the end of the year. You are really thinking about, according to the research, is the company that I am investing doing good? Is it making an impact to make people's life better or not? So that is why philanthropy has to change and is changing already. Because of these factors, and there is another factor here that you see, more than 70% of the clients of UBS, they are first generation wealth creators, entrepreneurs. What does it mean? This generation, these guys, they don't want to leave all the money to their children because they believe that leaving all their wealth to the children is not helpful for the children. So they will donate a great part of it. Why am I saying that? Today we have $1 trillion in philanthropy already, in foundations and donor-advised foundations. That is an instrument that most of the banks, they have. So with a donor-advised foundation, you can make everything that you do with a foundation, but you don't have the costs of the foundation. And I would like to make a parenthesis here, just to explain the concept of foundation. A foundation is a charity. I don't need to that. A foundation is a charity So it is a charity that only makes grants to other charities. So a foundation gets the money and gives to charities that are on the ground doing the work. So Optimus Foundation is a foundation of UBS, and we have many partners all over the world, and we make donations to these partners that are doing the work in India, in Africa, in South America, in England. I don't know if we have a partner here, but in Switzerland, I'm sure that we do. So we have 1 trillion sitting in these structures, foundation and donor advised foundation. With the Bill and Melinda Gates giving pledge, 200 families, they pledge to give another trillion in the next years. So we have already 2 trillion in the next years that will be used by philanthropy. And because we know that our client base, and we are the biggest wealth manager in the world, we know that most of our clients will donate a big chunk of their wealth to philanthropy. So we are expecting the next 20 years, the amount of money to be managed by philanthropists or by foundations is going to be $5 trillion. What is a serious amount of money? So how we can invest this money? Here you have philanthropy, these 3 columns here, and then sustainable investment. So I start with philanthropy. Charitable giving. People are not, the real philanthropists, the professionals, they're not looking at charitable giving anymore. Why? Charitable giving is something like you see an advertisement for any charity that takes care of children or women or whatever, then you make a donation there and that's it. You don't follow, you didn't do a due diligence before you donate the money. So this is going to die, let's say. Like people won't look at charitable donations anymore. They are coming here, where Optimus Foundation, that's the foundation of UBS, is sitting now. Strategic philanthropy, and social finance. Strategic philanthropy. So when we onboard a charity, before we do it, before we donate money to that charity, we do a very deep screening process with that charity. So we are making sure that they have a project, they have KPIs defined, they have a good structure, and they know what they are going to deliver. They know the outcomes, this word, I'm going to talk a lot about this word, they know the outcomes that they are going to deliver, okay? So why is it happening? Do you remember that I just said to you that 70% of our clients, they are first generation wealth creators. So these guys, they have a very business mind alike, a very business mindset. So when they are looking to charities, they are not looking to charities like, you just donate money and then you do whatever you want. They wanted to see a project, they wanted to see what the charity is going to deliver, they wanted to see progress, they wanted to see impact with their donation or with their money. So strategic philanthropy is much more about to look to a charity that has scalability, that has impact, that you can measure with the KPIs, you can really see if the impact, if you are delivering, they are delivering an impact with the grant that you just made. And then for me, the future of philanthropy is social finance. I'm going to talk a lot about social finance later on today, but here we can see the DIBs, the Development Impact Bonds, the SIBs, the Social Impact Bonds, and the PRIs, the program-related investments that are loans that we make to charities. On sustainable investing, we have the exclusion strategy. So you look at your portfolio and you just exclude everything that you don't think that's doing good for the world. So any weapons, companies that produce weapons, any companies that produce tobacco, gambling, that are related to gambling, that are related, some investors, faith-based investors, they will drop companies that are related to abortion, etc. So this is a very basic approach for sustainable investing. So as you can see, the environment and social outcomes here, they are very low. Then you have integration. Integration is where you not just drop the industries that they are not, they're not linked with environmental and social and governance outcomes, but also you try to pick the best in class, and you try to link not only the financial analysis of the companies, but you try to link the outcomes from environmental, social, and governance factors. And then, where these two, I think that these two here, they're going to merge sometime in the future, when you have the impact investing, that this is really about making a difference, is extremely focused on these environmental, social, and governance outputs, but also alongside with financial return. So these two guys here, social finance and investment impacting, they are going, in my opinion, somewhere in the future, they are going to merge, and they are going to be very useful tools for us to solve the world's problems. So I've been talking about impact. What is impact? It's not inputs. Inputs that time, skills, money, anything like that. It's not outputs as well. For example, you gave money to a charity that was building schools and delivering schools. So the impact is not the number of schools that you build. The impact are the outcomes. How many students left the school knowing how to read and do basic maths? That is the important thing here. Or, for example, if you are building hospitals, it doesn't matter, because you can build bad hospitals as well. The important thing is, are you delivering health to the population that will benefit from that hospitals? So the focus are in outcomes, not inputs, not outputs. Outputs, very, very challenging to measure it. So the industry now is really focusing in how to develop tools to measure these outputs. So some of the questions is the level of proof required, the regulation, it's correlated or casual, lots of questions that have to be answered to know how you can measure the outputs here, and then make your investments or your philanthropy work to have a bigger impact.